The Perth Racing Preview is where the Straight Up team finds you the winners, and here's the Straight Up team with their preview of Saturday racing from Ascot.
Ah, McGinnity.
Hi.
How are you?
Yeah, great.
You've been here for a while.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
A little bit too long, really.
He loves to get in early.
How are we?
Yeah, wonderful. Opening day was great. Good to see you, Riles.
Good to see you, Brad. Had a little trip down to Ollie's bar, have a look. Nice little setup in there for the great man.
Yeah, perched on the deck for most of the day there. But so, yeah,
good.
Magnificent function.
Where were you, Mart?
Saturday?
Yeah.
I'd be home, I think, after I worked here.
Bennett Street tab. With the
He's
peng.
back too. The Penny is back, but there's no tips, I don't think, today.
No tips.
Not at this stage. Eurythmic on Saturday. What are we thinking? Weather, track, rail. How's it looking, Riles? You're our man.
don't know if I'm your man, but yeah, partly cloudy, overcast conditions expected. 25 degrees. Track should be in the good 4 range, I think. Bradley, wind's interesting. West northwesterlies, 15 to 20 kilometres, very light in the afternoon, so not a great deal of wind impact to speak of there on the weekend. Rail goes to the 4 metre position after being 2 metres last Saturday and 12 on Wednesday. So fresh little inside pad for them to work with as well.
Concur.
How do you think it'll play?
On speed until it proves otherwise.
I think that'll be a common
That's the standard.
response through the course of the season, Mart.
On any track, on any day, on speed until it proves otherwise.
Yes, okay. Bisley Workwear plates, the first, 1400, time to go, 12:36. Now, before we look at this, the 4X Northern Cup, Sunday the 27th of October, they have got an all-inclusive 4X marquee. We've got 2x2 passes for this. Packages close on Friday at 5 p.m. All available through Try Booking, that is trybooking.com. Right, here's the first question. First 2 correct answers. Sorry, the first person with a correct answer will get 2 passes to get into that marquee.
Straight off the bat, here we go.
Yeah, Sunday the 27th of October. You're on the phones. The last mare to win the Northern Cup, who was it? Simple. Right, while you're thinking and sending the text in.
Get your text in and get those quaddies in as well.
Barbara
Plenty
Butchers.
of quaddies trickling through at the moment, Mart.
Fair to say nobody got it last week.
Apparently
112,000.
not. I think Bluey might have texted in Sunday morning claiming that he got a slice of it.
And wasn't that happy about the divvy.
Oh, he was. What percentage did he have?
I don't know, but 112,000 will do any of us in this room, I'm sure, any percentage of. This first event, True Apostle 480s firm, Elite Missiles 850 firm, Arcadia Park 5 to 480s, Spice is Right 15. He's got the safe 10 into 6. There's the first of the day. The Merry Man is $19. King Hit 61. Storyville 320 to 260. Spangled Stars 31 and Aphrodite's Adonis $101.
Good to have the band back together, isn't it?
We've got a winner to this question that's been asked, Mart.
Yes. Who we got?
And you won't guess who it is.
Oh, it isn't,
the
is
Dup.
it?
Dup.
Dup or Shorty?
The Dups has got in
straight
before
in.
Shorty.
Yeah.
And the Duppers first one to go bang.
Bang. Dance music.
Dance music.
Well done.
I hope I missed +1.
Now, Dubster, you've got to send through your name, email address and phone number, I think is what we need.
We'll sort him out. He's also sent something along through with it as well. Duppy here. What a pleasure to meet the team last week. Couldn't believe how tall Brad was. Hopefully see Mart soon when he's off parole. The boys were telling me I had the baby oil ready.
Yeah, the bracelet. And also,
We'll get to the tips as well a bit later on, Dup, once we get through it.
what about Greg? He sent one in too. We didn't read that out. We better get our texters on before we have a look at this first.
Yes, Greg sent his quaddie through, and superstar jockey of our generation, Zach Purton, sounds like an even better bloke. Thanks for the interview, boys. That's from Greg L. And we had another one come through as well, but we are getting a good response to this question. So
we've got a winner. So hold your powder dry. What about this first event?
We've got a second question, though. So
yeah, there's a second one.
Chance.
Yeah, we'll get to that later on.
Peter's texted in some great and informative interviews today, gents. Mick comes across as a very genuine, honest and nice guy, plus obviously has great knowledge on the football scene. Cheers. And
Yes.
I absolutely concur with that, Peter.
And his tips at Ballarat tonight: race 4, number 10, a best; race 6, number 6 each way; race 7, number 5 each way; and race 9, number 8. What about some big bets in the first, the Busy Workwear?
He's got the safe, as per your Meerkat, Marsh.
Yes.
1,100 places at the 280.
Nice.
And plenty of $250 wins there at the $9.58, $6 in. Storyville, a nice 1,000 there at the 320. The Merriman, nice 500 each way bet at the $18, if you don't mind. Elite Missile, that money's starting to roll in now as well. Off a very nice trial there, Ross.
Yeah, she's doing it on, Storyville's doing it on raw ability at the moment, isn't she, Brad? But she does get what looks another nice opportunity here off her win last start at Bunbury. Through the inside, found the front. May have had a little bit of a look around, but was really strong through the line. Should kick through to either lead or box seat if Spice is right. Has the speed to get across her early, but the way she chased home Rich & Co. in her trial prior to that, she may even be better suited with something to chase in front of her, Bradley, to be honest. But I can certainly see why there has been money for He's Got the Safe, who was the only horse in that race to make any inroads on her late on a day where it was increasingly difficult to the eye to make ground if you settled outside the first 3 or 4 in running, Brad. And I'll pose the question to you, because I've had this discussion with a few people from that meeting at Bunbury. Was it the track and it was just a hard day for horses settling back to be making any ground, or was it just a case of the best horses being the ones finding the front?
I'd definitely lean to option B, because I wasn't as convinced about the bias as plenty of other people were, and it does seem the standing consensus that it was quite on pace, but really upon review I didn't see it that way. I just thought it was more run of the race type stuff.
I think, yeah, there's a bit of both. I think there was definitely advantage being forward, but then the good jockeys worked it out and said, we're on the best horses, so we're going forward and make a good thing of it from the front.
Yep. Name a horse race where it isn't an advantage to be forward.
100%. 100%.
Oh, there will be some.
Well, there will be some off his run. And there will be some off his run last start who will be more than happy, as clearly is the case with the betting, to be in the corner if He's Got the Safe to turn the tables on Storyville with the right run. And
a little bit of a weight change, isn't there?
Yep. Got to respect the fact Storyville did it at both ends, I thought. And also just the unknown factor of a few of these other horses and where their ceilings might be, which we haven't spoken about yet. But True Apostle's going to put itself in the race and be very hard to
Very brave last
catch.
start.
Elite Missile, I loved that trial.
Huge trial.
So I think this is a pretty nice horse.
I preferred the first one. The first one was outstanding. But he's clearly one to watch.
Very happy. And, who knows where Arcadia Park and Spice's right end up, but they've also got their share of ability.
No interest with how the market sits for me at the moment, Mart. Just happy to watch this one.
We interviewed Grant after that win of Storyville. Oh, no, I didn't know. I was actually texting him. He was in Melbourne watching it, and I think... No, it's not a trumpet, mate. We were just texting.
Name drop.
He's a human being, mate.
Name drop.
Bit of name drop. Let's go.
Come on.
I grant it's Martin Young here.
It is a very nice horse, I think, Storyville. But Merriman's win first up.
It's
a big price, $19. Wow.
There's nice horses littered through this race.
Yeah.
I think they're looking champion fillies path with Storyville.
Why wouldn't you?
Comes from a family that gets over a bit of ground as well.
Champion fillies.
Champion.
But no bet for you.
No bet for me, Mark.
I'm Storyville and having something on Merry Man at $19. Race number 2, the Glenroy Chaff Handicap, and this is over the 1,600 metres. Time to go at 1:19, and let's have a look at the betting here with Barra Magic. 30, open at 18, it's got out to 31 and is now 26. Captain Pluto 270, around that price 275. Classic Rogue 650. In Good Order 260, 270 into 245. Exel Train 8 to 10. Odinaka 9, 850. Cobb & Co is 26.23 and our Norman 51.
400 wins Classic Rogue at the $6, Mart.
Have it again.
What is it now?
Yeah.
Champion.
Odinaka, 250 each way at the $9. Another 250 each way at the $9. In Good Order, 500 at the 260. Another 500 at the 245. Plenty of rank and file money there for Odinaka. That's piling up. This is it must be a bit of a sneaky tip here. And a bit of sharp money Exel Train as well at the $10.
I really like this horse in Good Order, Mark. He's a very promising middle distance staying type on the rise for Danny Morton, who kept the powder dry at opening day. Takes 7 to the races there on Saturday, so it just gives the feel that he was happy to sit out day 1 and really attack day 2. Couldn't have won more impressively last start with the 60 kilos, easily accounting for a horse, Classic Rogue, who took out the other key form reference for this race last start and meets him under the same weight conditions here. As a result, simply was back in second on that occasion. He's won back-to-back races since. Just a turn of foot he was able to pick up and show when he sprinted with that 60 kilos at the end of a mile was just really took me, Mark.
Just looks a good horse,
yeah,
doesn't it?
Just looks a good horse. He's got versatility. I could see them taking bad luck out of the equation here. Not a lot of speed outside of Exel Train, who looks your leader. Slide forward from the barrier, try and find the breeze perhaps. You know he's going to see out a strong 1,600 metres. I'd back him from the breeze to take over from Exel Train, who is tough and going well. But I think if that's where he could land, they could control the race from there, get some weight relief down to the 58.5 kilos, and he's a horse who's only getting better with racing, I think. So I was happy to make him the best on the program, Mark, in Good Order. I think he'll be very hard to beat.
So just to ease up, having a month off, that was just to get him in line with the Carnival or the Pinnacles coming up?
Just a programming thing.
Yep.
Finding the right race for him.
Question for you, Rolls. A few people saying going forward in Good Order, maybe a Perth Cup type of horse, but I love what it's doing over the mile range.
Yeah, well, some of these horses you just think they're going to be at their best when they keep stepping up and stepping up in distance. But, yeah, he's shown real strength and versatility over these middle distances as well.
I think that's the beauty of the programming, though, isn't it? There was another one we talked about on Sundays in the same boat that remind me from last Saturday that'll just go 16, 18, and if it gets to the Perth Cup, but if it's going well...
Diamond Scene.
Who?
Was it Diamond Scene? No?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Diamond Scene. Yep. So in Good Order is your best of the day. Let's put that in the book.
And the great Greg L has texted in on the Retrovision text line as well, 0427 789 571. In Good Order in race 2 for me, boys. Load up and set your day up so you can invest it on the Caulfield Cup later on. Well,
there you have it. Good on you, Greg. I'm a In Good Order fan as well. Race number 3, the Peters Investments Handicap over the mile. 1 Beats of War 23, Cosmic Chaos 21, Grand Reserve 8 into 5, Miss Sky High 320, Stormageddon 650, Western Power 440, Civvy Street 23, Zachariah Bow was 51, Arcadia Knight, third of the Peters runners, into 550, and All About the Crack is $41.
Local Pro and Eastern States Pro liked Grand Reserve early, 300 at the 8, 350 at the 7. Miss Sky High is the other one that's getting the attention. There's 1,000 at the 320. 500 at the $3, another 500 there at the $3. So that's pretty much it. And in regards to financial support, there Rolls, not much other activity for any of these Peters runners at this stage.
Nah, rinse and repeat for me here, Bradley, with the Morton camp. I'd like to see each way for him late, and there was each way available early. And as you mentioned, there were some sharpies that were happy to snip that $8. But I just love the setup here, Marty, for Grand Reserve, who is drawn out in barrier 9 on paper, but strikes a race with there's no speed in this race whatsoever. I thought Chris Parnham with a positive ride should be able to roll across and find the front here. And the last time we saw him at the races, he ran third behind Great Fortune. There was a subsequent winner last weekend, and Border Force, who was horribly luckless on Wednesday. Oh, yesterday. Too soon, Bradley. In a race that was run really strong. It was 7.5 lengths faster than benchmark over the mile. So it's a nice platform, I think, for the setup that he gets if he can work his way across. And much like his stablemate in the previous, he looks a middle distance staying type, lightly raced, only getting better with racing. And if Chris Parnham could work his way to the front and control, I could see him really getting rolling from the 600 and maybe pinching it.
Yourself and a few sharpies definitely agree there, and so I'll play devil's advocate in that regard. Seems a bit more of a grinder to me than In Good Order, one that might not be able to capitalise and doesn't seem to have that real turn of foot. I know it won at 1,300, but that was on a heavy 15. was a proper sticky track. So
I think the best way to ride him in this race, if he can work his way across and find the front, would be to try and make this a real genuinely run 1,600 metres and put the foot down from the 600 and get a few of these uncomfortable and get them chasing. Miss Sky High was a danger, and if I don't see the each way Grand Reserve, I'm probably happy to have a saver, depending on what price she starts. Difficult to line up, Brad, in terms of where she's at, backing up off the 7 days, which I think suits after never seeing any daylight whatsoever last week. But in saying that as well, also begs the question, how much did she have to offer, given what we saw prior to that?
Definitely a hard lucker, and this will be a bit of the theme going back into last week's meeting, how many hard luckers there were in some of these races. And so how do you take that form going forward? And, that'll be up to the punt to own it in regards to how much you take on for Miss Sky High. Probably, for mine, should have run at least second.
And if she is good enough, I think Pike can hold up leaders back here and should get first crack at gunning down a horse like a Grand Reserve if he is able to work his way across and get rolling. So it's a good setup for her. She should get a much better run than what she was afforded last week.
Katie and I had another one with no luck last week. And how do you line up these Peters horses? Yeah, the market's not interested in any of them.
Western Power's shown a bit.
Absolutely.
It was a good win last start, and Royal Tornado certainly franked that form, went huge last Saturday. So
that's a run.
One off the text line here, Jeff of Lake Munga, and he has said, what's happened to the old days of quarter the odds the place? That's for you, he said.
It's Cameron from Wesley.
No. I just said it's Jeff of Lake Munga. Yeah. Quarter the odds a place. So good point he makes here, because if you have a look at Grand Reserve as $5, so in the old days that would have been, $2 a place, $1.85. Well,
how many bookies used to actually offer genuine each way? I think.
Oh, Lucky did.
I'm not sure that was a thing in many races at all. Quite often it was just win and
come
plays.
on, mate. Recency bias here, surely.
Yeah, there seems to be a big people are quick to forget. Oh, they were always better in the good old days.
My oath, they were.
150% markets half an hour out from jump. Yeah, they were great.
Good to hear from Boof, listening in from the Mount Henry Tavern.
Boof.
Lovely little spot there, the Mount Henry. Meerkat McMahon got away with one on the weekend. Royal Tornado, Danny Worrell beaten last Saturday, but got his eye in with Count the Sessions. So pat on the back to you, Vince, cheering for Elite Missile this weekend and Miss Vasari for the young fella.
Yeah, and don't forget too, last week's Broken Hill Hotel, you're talking about the Mount Henry, which is the Yo family used to have the Mount Henry years ago. The Broken Hill Hotel Saturday Certainty was Count the Sessions. Phil H, I think, from Inglewood or somewhere out the way.
Yep, we passed that on.
Yeah, we did. Yep. Yeah. Monday. And I think he may have plagiarised your tip.
Well punted, Phil.
So, Phil, text in if you want to, if you haven't got a partner to take to the Broken Hill. I'm sure our mate here will tag along.
If you can't beat him, join him.
He'll have a free feed anywhere.
Happy to play that wag roll. I'll do the same for Dup. I'll be in Dup's arm for the other function. Yep.
You and Dup. Datesy.
No problems.
Little Datesy up the Great Eastern Highway.
Right. So for the 1400, Corn Cob has been 16 into 10. Tony Spirit into 31. Sun Bronze 8 to 650. Dialing 18. Mystical Man 101. A Profit Pocket 18 to 13. Bell Journey 31. Bohemian Diamond $2.80. Busac 11 into 550. We're meerkatting that. Pull the Trigger, $8.50. Secret Identity, 31. Date with the Devils, good odds, $14. Why me, 21.
I concur, mate. Corn Cob, 700 places at the 390. And a little bit of Eastern States Pro snipping as well at that big price early. Busac. Aren't the Eastern States Pros keen on this horse? Fair dinkum. 400 by 600, 400 by 500. 300 by 400 Busac. Sunbronze, local pro money, 300 at the $8. A bit of money is starting to come in there for Date with the Devil there, Mart. And a bit of local sharp money Profit Pocket as well.
Pocket.
Now, just quickly, one from Timmy from Lansdale's text in. Count the Sessions rewarded the loyal followers who've been in hell for the past 6 months watching him run up backsides for fun. Mental health assessments.
Who's that, Bradley?
Mental health assessments required for those who didn't stick it out and jumped off. That's a very fair point, Timmy.
Well called.
And Duppy's also up me for not reading out his tips, so we will get to them. The selections for the Dup. Race 1, Elite Missile each way. Race 3, Western Power. we'll get to the rest of those.
Has Bradford Mayland sent in a text as to why his tips haven't been read out yet?
I don't think he sent through any tips.
May have caught up with Brad Short Saturday evening.
Oh, no.
He showed me a very incriminating bit of video.
Yeah.
I reckon if you played for GWS, you'd be copying 6 matches.
Impersonating a sober person?
Oh, no, he was not.
I'd love to see this video.
No, he was not, Mark. I think he was leaving the the Tats Club.
Tats Club, yeah, just missed a step. Anyone can do that.
And the second one as well. And he might have missed the footpath too.
I don't think we're going to get time to go through this before Northern.
All right, what we'll do, we'll hold. We're here for the Hong Kong Jockey Club. Don't forget, get your Barbaro Butchers quaddies in as well. 0427 789 571. And sincere shout-outs to the gang out there doing it pretty tough at Barbaro's today, and to Raf and the boys, Stefan and Jaden. All the very best to you out there. So we've been through the market. Bohemian Diamond is 280. What are we thinking here in race number 4?
I thought this was really tricky, Bradley. I found this quite an open race. Bohemian Diamond, obviously a horse I think we all have plenty of time for with what she's been able to do this campaign. She's come back a lot bigger and a lot better. She has drawn very sticky, and she's 5 weeks between runs. So no denying she's likely the best horse in the race, but I just think she's probably short enough at the moment in the market at sub $3. I can understand the money for Busak, Brad, and you might disagree. I thought the double figures on offer early, which has been very well sniped since then, was an attractive price. I didn't get involved myself, only coming through a maiden win, but I just love the progression that he's on and the run that he's going to get here. Ran time, getting to a tearaway leader at Bunbury last start, I thought was really strong late through the line. They posted a figure 5 lengths quicker than maiden class average as well on that day, and bumped into a pair of really nice horses prior to that win with Discretion and our mate Archie. So with a couple of kilos weight relief, good tactical speed to hold a position from the barrier, stalking the speed, I can certainly see bringing that different, less exposed form, why he's been popular in betting, and he'd probably be the way I'd go from an each-way betting perspective if I had to have a bet in the race. Date with the Devil, Marty, who's a horse we both like, in a similar vein to Busak, just has that upside and that untapped sort of ceiling. Bolted in at Kalgoorlie to break maiden status, went to a Class 3 at Bunbury last start on a day we think it was difficult enough to make ground, but loved how he got out and attacked the line late. I think he likely ends up 3 back the fence here, which I'm not sure is an ideal place to be. So if that is the case, he will need some luck, but he's got plenty of promise. And then you have a really well-placed horse like a Corn Cob who hasn't seen a race of this depth or nature for quite some time and likely finds the front and is racing pretty well, to be honest.
It's racing solidly. I think it's had a lot of favours and sort of pretty appropriate runs for a horse where you'd want to see it maybe finish a little bit better for mine, but there's plenty of money to indicate that it'll go well again, Corn Cob. Mart, I'm with you a little bit. Date with the Devil, with you a bit rolls like the each way type price will get me.
Yep.
Bohemian Diamond might have just come back a real proper horse. Like you can't do much more than what it's done. If it gets towards the 330, 350 mark, I might be happy to get involved to find out.
Well, the 2 wins before the break were outstanding, weren't they? And I've just got to send one out. Hang on, what start are we talking about here? Lonsdale Park. Machino, what sort of a sire is he, really? He's having some sort of a run. So you were talking about that previous horse with Dan Morton that can stay a little bit, what was its name? Grand Reserve.
Yep.
Then you've got this horse who's like a 14-miler, Grand Reserve 16 up, and then, say, Joker's Grin. It's a 1,000-metre sprinter, isn't it? Being set for the Summer Scorcher.
And then the Everest, I reckon.
He can do anything. Yeah. Machino, he's a freak.
Yeah, he is.
And doing it for a long time, too.
And
doing it for a long time.
And the Lonsdale Park stud, not one of mine either, so that's a nice freebie. Hope you enjoyed that one. It's one of Cobb's men. But,
first one free, second one costs 1,000.
I'm at $14 each way, Date with the Devil. 3 back the fence. mightn't be a bad thing for this horse, just to learn something about racing, being in amongst them, and if he trucks up, thinks this is all right down here, gaps appear, he could just go whoosh.
He was pretty tight between runners.
He got knocked from pillar to post. He was pinballed last start.
Still had a head full of steam up on the line.
Probably maybe a mile now, so it could just be a furlong short, but the trainers are pretty smart.
I did not expect to see the level of support for Busak here, Brad. That did surprise me a little bit. I thought this is a nice bet at around that $10, $11 mark, but into $5.50. That's a big move. Yeah,
and probably may not recover. The type of people who are backing the horse indicate that price might not recover at all.
Okay, no tip?
Oh, I did Busak each way, but I want more than what's available currently.
Yeah. So you missed the price?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, race 5, Seacourt Handicap. Craig and all the team out there at Seacourt, Phillimore Street in Fremantle. Very good afternoon.
You're on those books, aren't you?
Oh, I was once.
What books isn't he on?
Tycoon Harry's 21-17. Hallertaurin, the People's Champ, is back 23-20. We'll have a 5-minute verbiage about this great horse soon. 3 is Melkar Pindari, 12 and 950.
Bit of verbiage.
Yes, Kripalenko, if you don't mind punters. What about in the last 15 into 12? Capre Omnia 21, Magna Lee 26 from 51 at big odds. Dracana first up 460, 370. They want to be with Peter's Investments. King's Honour 5 to 460. Hang Glider 8 to 750. Miss Flirtatious 6 into $3.80. We're mere catting it.
Fair enough too. There's a scratching mark.
Oh, is that?
Pin Deep's come out.
Yeah, I know, Pin Deep.
Yeah, about 60 cents, I reckon.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Yeah, 60 or 70 cents.
After its good run yesterday.
Yeah.
Really?
And at the $14 mark. Anyway, so Miss Flirtatious.
It's good to be back.
Good
to be back.
They've downed strides early, Miss Flirtatious. Downed strides, got notes out from wherever they could. And having a wager, 1,000 early. They're at the $6, 500 at the 6, 500 at the 480, 500 at the 460, 400 at the 380, 500 at the 380. Wow. King's Honour, 500 at the $5. Capre Omnia, plenty of out wide each way money there, 200 each way at the 20s. So good spread of money with a fortune already being unloaded on Miss Flirtatious. Punters, very keen rolls, local and Eastern States pros.
Tell you what, Jim the Pommy Pie's keen here. Best bet for Saturday, Melkar Pindari. It's a touch sharp, but best turn of foot I've ever seen and great first up.
Best turn of foot he's ever seen.
Ever seen.
Ever.
Well, yeah, that's Jimmy Boy's gone whack. That's his best.
Yeah, I've seen Mark cut out a furlong at the bar on last drinks.
Mitch Pateman's turn of foot last weekend was
trying to find you. Yeah,
I've got scorch marks on my arm.
Are you surprised at all, Brad, with how genuine Miss Flirtatious has been in both starts this campaign? Off what she showed last time in work when she was last in work?
I think there's been enough there to indicate that she'd be that sort of horse, and she's done a good job.
Yeah, I like her here. I just like the setup. I just think she's going to get such a good run back to the 1,000 metres, and she does have to handle the backup from last week. Contested a 66 plus 1,200. Drew wide, did some work early to get across to the breeze. Was only swamped in the final 50 metres after giving a good kick on straightening. First up, 1,000, went straight past Hang Glider and only meets him half a kilo worse off here. I think she'll land in the first 2 or 3 here with King's Honour expected to charge across and likely find the front and really roll him along. That's just how he races, and she's likely the first one to get a crack at him once they turn for home. And while it is a race, it certainly has some depth to it. I'm happy to bet.
You and everyone else?
Yep. I'll join the queue.
I can see Hang Glider turning the tables. I don't think Hang Glider's a breeze horse.
I'm not huge on the inside barrier for him.
Yeah, but he's a suck ping horse, and I can see it turn the tables. I'd love the trial of Dracana. I think this is a very nice horse. The race might set up well for it. They don't trial any better than that. And can even make a case for a horse like Kripalenko, who's just absolutely flying. So really interesting race, but punters only want to be on one horse.
Dracana's really interesting, Marty.
He is, yeah.
For Peter's Investments, New Zealand purchase, similar vein to Love and War, in the fact that this mare is a listed winner over there over 14 and 1,500 metres. So she's by Ace High, had the 5 starts, and on her breeding, I went back and had a look at her breeding. She's likely to get over a bit of ground, sort of that middle distance region. But as Brad said, I loved her trial. Gut feel she might find the 1,000 a little bit sharp, but it's going to be interesting, I think, Brad, what the market does with her late.
Yeah, already on the drift, so already on the drift.
Right.
All right.
It's on the drift.
What are you smirking about over there usually?
No, we just had a text on there. They said that sounds like something from the GWS Wacky Wednesday.
What did?
The Suck Suck Ping.
Very good.
Dracana, my thoughts are exactly the same as yours, Riles, is that, if it's 1,200 at 1,400, you'd nearly be having something on it. Like the way that if you have a look at the gear change, I love that gear change. They had the hood on in the trial and they've taken it off and just gone pre-race. But if you have a look at about 50 out and that horse gets to it, they go, oh, hang on, didn't hear you coming, bang. So it's going to win a lot of races here, Dracana.
Yeah. No Slug, the second horse in that trial either. It's going to be Horcrux.
Horcrux.
It's going to be a very nice animal.
Yeah.
Agree.
All right. Tipping?
Miss Flirtatious for me, Mart. Happy to put her in the book. I like the setup for her. She handles the backup. And just going back to race 4 very briefly, the Dupster. What was Brad thinking? Race 4, number 9, Boosack.
What was it? Officially 11?
What's that?
11, was it? Opening? What did we open up at?
$11.
10, 11, was it?
11.
Who's counting?
Have it again.
Okay, Northern race number 6. Those divvies are there. 4, 3, 2 and 8. Butterfly House for Donga, $4.20, $1.20. Shasfar, $5.10. Classic Ruler, $1.10. Quinella, 60, 90. Exacta, 87.60. The Trifecta, 287.60. First 4, 4, 3, 2 and 8. 1,427.40. Pair of 4s, 16.20. And number 7, Queen of Hawks, was out late at the barriers. Now, Northern race 1 Greys is 17 away, so we're about to catch up with Ryan Levitsky. We'll take an opener for Northern race number 7, the Countrywide Insurance Brokers, the 1,400, 1 Elmaya, 5.52, more likely 6.50, 3 Ayumi 3, 4 is Cremo 10, 5 Kalora 4.60, 6 George Gently $5, 7 Please God at 19, and 9 Surf Point 34. Darren tipping 2, 5, 6 and 3. We'll get tips from Riley soon. Okay, let's go to the second part of winning our way into the all-inclusive 4X marquee at Northern Cup Day, Sunday the 27th. If you want a book to get in, go to trybooking.com, trybooking.com, and the tickets close there Friday 5 p.m. That is tomorrow night. Righto. Since 2005, so that's 19 years, Blackfriars has signed 6 winners of the Northern Cup. That's not a bad effort, 6 out of 19. Name 3 of them. 0427 789 571. Yes, welcome back. Straight up for the Hong Kong Jockey Club, 12 away from 5 o'clock, 18.7 degrees here in Perth. Have we got a winner for the chance to go to the 4X Northern Cup into that all-inclusive 4X marquee?
We do. Correct. First correct answer in. Can I just double-check, Marty, that these are all correct with you?
Yes.
Chocolate Holic.
Correct.
Tell 'em we're coming.
Correct.
Mongetti.
Correct. Thomas.
Number ending in 937.
Good
second winner of our Northern Cup competition
so we'll
giveaway.
Get those sent out to you as well. Well done, Thomas.
Well done to Thomas.
A winner. Winners and grinners. Righto, let's have a look at this next event. We're up to race number 6. This is the first leg of the Barbaro Butchers Quaddie. Got me. We'll do that again.
Sprays are when you need him.
Yeah, I know.
3 for the big left armour on the weekend.
Yeah, heard that. Yeah, into the wind too. Miss Vasari's 26-2. Speak to Me 20. Bondi Plunge 850 to 7. Cross Statement 18 to 16. Rachenko 360 into 3. Diablo Ladders 21. Blue Rocket 850. Mr. Spree's 26. Romming Dangers 19. Lardette 26. Regal Statue 750 into 5. Hibiscus Lady is $26. Gold Flakes $13, and Right to Silence $71.
Just a semi-meerkat there, Mark.
Yeah.
Just a semi-meerkat.
Yep.
Rich & Co, 800 at the 3, another 800 at the 360 earlier, 500 at the 3, 400 at the 3 as well. Regal Statue, well, here we go. Only 300 at the 750, 400 at the 6, another 400 at the 6. Bit of each way support for Bondi Plunge and Gold Flakes as well, Rolls.
Yeah, the speed map here is quite interesting, isn't it, Brad? Given there's certainly no shortage of pressure. And Rich & Co, as we know, is a horse. He's a big freewheeling type who, in an ideal world, would be able to find the fence and bowl along in front. But with cross statement engaged, the breeze looks best case scenario for him here. And then the next question I pose to you, Brad, is how much work does he have to do to get up and around a horse like a Hibiscus Lady if he does want the breeze?
Yeah, or a horse like Blue Rocket, horse like Right to Silence. A couple out wide with a bit of speed as well. Yeah, really interesting. Sometimes you almost think in these scenarios, Rolls, that they might just hand up and let Rich & Co lead because they don't want to cop the pressure from it. And I'm not sure how it's all going to end up. But
well, that could be race over if it's the case.
Yeah. Did you think they'll want to hold up on cross statement?
Well, it's his only chance, I would suggest, of winning the race.
They're pretty tactically savvy, the Taylors, aren't they?
But if you sit with him, does he even... I just don't think that's riding a horse to his strength. So
maybe one for lock.
Yeah, maybe. I expect they'll still ride Rich & Co handlebars down. Let's just say that. But he may have to do a bit of more work than what is ideal to get there. And there's some nice horses in this race. It's a big step up on what he beat at Bunbury last start.
Yep.
So I just thought there was a bit more value at the each-way Regal Statue, which just has Pike 3 back fence, back on fence special written all over it here with the speed engaged. She will need a bit of luck. Liked her trial behind Rich & Co late in September. She certainly came on from that effort in her most recent hit out in a very fast run trial heat behind King's Honour. I loved the way she worked home through the line late in that trial, Bradley. So she's the one that'll be cuddled up back behind the speed, needing a split late, but with the tempo engaged, I'm hoping that could eventuate, and there are some gaps for Pike to work with because I'd be happy to back her at the each way quote, Regal Statue, with this setup.
Where do you think its ceiling is or talent levels are at? That's my concern.
It's a good question. No, it's a very valid question. I think she's shown enough at this stage. I just thought the improvement she made between her first trial and her second trial, I just thought that most recent trial was super.
Your horse, Smart Blue Rocket, looks a nice setup for it. Back to the 1200.
Yeah. I'm sort of looking. I thought you were going to say Robbing Danger.
That is
could
one
have
of
been
yours.
mine.
Well tipped, Mark. Well tipped.
Plenty of quaddies coming through. Get those in 0427 789 571. Jared from Scarborough's text in and asks, can you send me Duppy's number so I can put forward a case to be his +1 to Northam?
On those few beers we had with the Dupster, very open to a bit of side hustle bribe action, I would have thought, the Dupster.
Aren't we all? Now, we're going to keep pushing this through.
Okay, well, I want to talk about one horse
Yes.
out wide. It's probably a sticky draw for Gold Flakes, but I'm convinced this horse has come back a better horse.
Right.
Guinea's horse?
I love the trial. This might be an animal. I'm pretty excited to see what it can show on Saturday, Gold Flakes.
Agree. As you mentioned, tricky map, but could potentially be a Guinea's horse if he is as good as she is, as good as what you think she is, Brad.
I'm a bit with you here, Regal Statue. Just everything you said, I agree 100% with, and I'll be saving on my alpha. Look, there could be enough pace in this for Robbing Danger to sit back and come with a run.
Absolutely. If they've shown they can make ground, watch for her late. She'll be flashing home.
Because stable has just been fine, and it's not of late. I reckon the last 12 months for Graham Ballantyne.
He's got some really nice
good
horses.
Yep, and Jay Whiting rides them beautifully, so... Happy to have back one Regal Statue and save on the other.
And Regal Statue is more. I'm not overly keen on the race, Smarty, but the each way is, because there is each way available, that's a bet I'm happy to have.
Okay, see if we can get through our second leg of the Barbaro Butchers because we're getting serious now. The Swan Draft RS Crawford Stakes over the 1,000 metres. And this will test the machinos. Maracino at 1,000. 100 into 71 for Louis. Gemma Sana's 11. Clemenceau 34. Saloon Bar 12 into 950. Pooley 26 to 21. Baby Paris. Oh, halve your quote, 14 into 7. Obviously, they didn't see the trial. Live to Tell is 650. Ollie's Choice, 17 into 950. Capital Flight's 31. Oh, the champ. Bravo Centurion, 310, 280. And Sinful Living is $5.
The trials were the trials were down when Brad did his form. There's no footage available.
Bravo Centurion, 1,000 at the 310. Baby Paris. Yeah, they got stuck in a couple of $200 bets at the 12, 250 at the 13, a couple of 200s at the 10, another 200 there at the 7, Baby Paris. Ollie's Choice getting some nice each way support, including a 400 place component, $2.90. That's about it, or else?
Yeah, it's a bit to dissect here, isn't there? Bravo Centurion is, I think, well enough found in the market at 280 currently, given this is comfortably by lengths the hardest race that he's seen. But, 1,000-metre horses win 1,000-metre races, particularly at Ascot. He's been freshened up for 6 weeks for this after putting 4 in a line and posted some big figures in doing so as well. But playing devil's advocate, Brad, and I'm sure you would do the same, those were all on rain-affected surfaces, and the question now is, Marty, can he repeat the dose to that level back on top of the ground?
Good point you make. He runs into the strongest field he's ever run against, and you're asking to take very short price.
And cops a 3-year-old with a huge, just gets a lovely little pitch in, but not a massive weight turnaround.
Okay, my take on that is, and I agree, and he gets down to the lightest weight he's carried since his debut. I just don't think it matters all that much over the 1,000 metres. Sinful Living getting down to 49, because they're virtually just going flat knacker from the outset anyway. I just don't think it has much of a pull as it would over a bit further. What do you?
No, it's an old racing adage, isn't it? Over the 1,000, so I can get exactly what you're saying.
I just think it never hurts to be tossed in on a lightweight.
Yeah,
never hurts. What's going to be interesting here is people might look at a map rolls and say a horse like Baby Paris, it looks like a great setup for it at 1,000 metres. It could easily find itself 3 wide or back 6 or 7 lengths off the top.
The old barrier 7.
Well, with her as well, she needs to leave cleanly. If she steps, she could find herself into a 1 out, 1 back sort of position. But if she's half a stride slow, all of a sudden she's 3 deep or she's further back than what would be ideal. So that was my little query with her. He's not a bet at the price for me, but I just think bowling along in front, if he can reproduce what he was doing on those wet tracks with that kick he'll give off the corner, I think he'll be hard to beat. Okay.
So no bet, but you think Bravo will win it?
No bet. We haven't touched on a few other horses
so we'll either have to touch after this.
We can go on the other side of Northern.
because it is RS Crawford. So, okay, of course, we are going through the Barbaro Butchers quaddies at the moment out there at Cockman Road in Greenwood. All the team, they'll look after you. A $100 voucher will go to the Barbaros, or the winner of the Barbaros Butcher quaddie. And the less amount of selections you have will enable you to win the $100. What are you doing there over there?
Get a bigger.
Taking a picture.
Of Trevor Andrews. It's a bit weird. Anyway, let's get... So we got to a point.
Weird.
We got to a point of the Crawford Stakes, yeah?
Just back onto the Crawford Stakes, a couple of other runners we did want to touch on. Live to Tell. Blinkers go on her on the quick backup from last weekend.
Intent.
Beaten 2.5 lengths, ran 9th behind Almighty Class. But once you break it down a bit, sectionally probably couldn't have done a lot more from where she settled in the run. I'm just not personally entirely convinced she's racing, or with what she's been through from her juvenile campaign, she's just maybe not at her very best.
Yeah, I reckon we'll find out Saturday.
Yep.
Always a bit of a concern. I'm about to speak about this a few races later as well. First up to second up on the bounce too. That's always a little bit of a concern, isn't it?
Yep.
So do you go with these horses resuming, or do we go with the horses that have got match fitness on their side? You know, say like a Saloon Bar.
Oh, I think Saloon Bar's not a 1,000-metre horse, particularly at Ascot, with where he's likely to end up in running. Don't be surprised to see a belter of a run fresh from Ollie's Choice. 1,000 metres is going to be well short of his best distance, but he's surely showed earlier in his career he can certainly sprint pretty well with that freshness in his legs, so don't be surprised to see him run out of his skin.
Can Pooley run a race?
Not if he gets crossed, which I think he will.
Mm-hmm.
Ascot, maybe some concern too. The one I want to talk about is Gemma's Son, who can run a race fresh and is a 1,000-metre horse. Can jump well on its day, and I want to make a huge case for Gemma's Son each way to be that one that can be just off Bravo Centurion and Sinful Living and really have a good crack at them late.
Okay, so what are we putting in the book here, boys?
Nothing.
Nothing for
Sorry,
you?
excuse me. Nothing for me at the moment, Marty, but $3.30 north would get me for a bet with Bravo Centurion to bank on him being able to reproduce his form prior to a little freshen up back on top of the ground.
I'm a fan of the horse. Too short for me. I've got to stick down at Baby Paris each way. First up. Good first up card. Track and distance stats are good.
You've been on her 90 times. No point jumping off now.
Not at $7.50.
Would you be in front over the journey?
That far in front, I'm lonely. Race number 8. It's the Liberties Insurance Eurythmic Stakes over the 1,400 metres. And we've got a big field to get through here. Wow. I'll need a break at the halfway. 31 into 21. Bustler. Tricks of the Trades, 51 to 34. Valor Road, 19 to 15. Let's Gallivant. $16. Magnificent Andy, 14 to 11. A lot of good men. That's the team up there. They're $21. Massimo, 51. Mood Swings at 10. Ginger Baker is 20. Fanta, $7.50. Vast Art, the Hannons winners, $9.50. Aztec Ruler at 7. Super Schmink, $10. Search and Rock, 7 to 6. Comfort Me's, $14. Laced Up Hills is 17. And the Emergencies, Caramundi, 31. And Captain Chaos at 34.
Aztec Ruler, $750 at the $7 mark. Plenty of 250 type activity on Magnificent Andy.
Yes.
The Bustlemeister G. Matt Allen will be up and about his back, Bustler. A couple of $250 bets there at the bigger price. And just lots of chipping away. A good even betting race and nothing significant yet except for that Aztec Ruler bet.
Wow. What a cracking race this is. You get asked 10 different people who wins a race, you get 10 different answers. It's what there does look to be. There looks strong tempo, pressure coming across from out wide. There's just so many moving parts in this big field, isn't there, Brad? It's exciting. It's carnival time. Our carnival horses, the local hopes are all back in action, whether it be second up, on the back end of a winter campaign, kicking off their preparations with bigger targets looming. For me, there's 3 horses, I think, who currently pose some value in the market, and they're the way I'll likely play this race from a low, I guess, outlay perspective, not a race of any real confidence, Marty, more from an interest sense, but Magnificent Andy is the first of those, and some will definitely and rightfully probably so will suggest he isn't at his top off his first 2 runs this preparation. I'm going to be a bit forgiving of those. Both on soft tracks. Most recently in the Farnley, drew wide, was slow out. Got back to last on a very difficult day to make any ground, but I thought his work late, particularly over the last 100 metres when he got into his work, was very good, despite the beaten margin. My little concern with him as well, despite the fact that it looks great on paper, Brad, we saw last week some horses who looked to map really well from these inside draws in these big fields find a lot of trouble because the horses out wide were on top of them before the corner and they just had absolutely nowhere to go. So that's my slight concern with him, given he can be a bit hit and miss, Marty, away from the barriers. I think if Brad can keep him off the fence early and he can step cleanly and hold a position in the first half, there does look to be enough pressure to break them up a bit, to give him some room to move when he needs it. I think his best is good enough, and around that sort of $11, $12 mark, happy to have something on him, may even get a bit longer late. So he's the first of my plays. Super Smink, the double figures, I'm happy to have a bet there as well. She couldn't have done much more first up. Brad in the Blackheart Bar, what did you make of her run on that day?
Super, wasn't it?
Yeah, and again, much like in that race, she's going to have to take her medicine and go back from the barrier, and they'll need to have shown that they're making some ground, which by this stage of the day you will have been able to gauge with how the track's playing. I just, felt she didn't have any right to finish as close as she did in that Blackheart Bar and that off that run, and you can even hear it the way he speaks about her, or has spoken about her. Danny Morton's confident he's got this horse right back on track and back to her best. So there looks to be a number of runners drawn wide who would like to find a spot and blend across and get over from their wide barriers. If she can land in that 3-4 wide moving line and get rolling before the corner, she'll be going 2 to their 1 late. Whether it's enough remains to be seen, but the double figures, I think, is a bet for me, despite the fact that she will need certain aspects of this race to go her way.
Could make a case for about 20 of them, and there's only 18 in the race. I'll wait until a minute out, and I'll be on course, and I may have had a couple of frothies by that stage. I reckon I'll just
froth ones.
I reckon I'll just close my eyes and point to the race book, and whichever one the finger ends up on, we'll get back that each way.
There's one out wide I just think is overs, and is currently the rank outside of the field of those who aren't the emergencies and tricks of the trade. Every chance that he's past expiry date in terms of being competitive in these races. But I thought his trial over the 1,000 at Belmont was one of his better trial showings, given he hasn't always been the best trial horse in his career to date. Looks to get a midfield run with a smother without having to get back to last or near on. He's shown through his career that he can really jump out of the ground fresh. He didn't last campaign, but he's shown previously that he can. I just thought for a rough chance, I didn't think he was the worst at $34, and I'll be happy to have something small on him and may even see a bit better late.
Okay, Gray's coming onto the track for the second at Northam. No talk or chatter about the Hannans handicap winner, Vast Start. I thought he was enormous in the Hannans.
Plenty of merit in the win.
Good win. It was a brilliant training performance, I thought.
Yeah.
Pads front first time, has that got everyone a bit scared, a bit concerned?
Not really.
He does use the pads a lot, doesn't he, Darren, and uses them well?
That Hannans grade me up a little bit, Brad. There was a few unlucky runners. It was run at a real dawdling tempo early.
They bunched up.
Clint Johnson-Porter sort of took the initiative, went around them, shot away. I'm a bit grey on that race as a form reference. But horse is certainly capable with the right run.
Yeah, he's a good record at the track and distance. 6 starts, 1-1-2. Barrier 12's not going to be a great hindrance to him either. I reckon he's better out.
3 wide cover type.
Yeah, something like that. Good bit of fitness. Again, you've got a lot of these horses resuming in this race. Eurythmic, the old Northerly, Group 3.
One off the...
You've owned a few winners of this race, haven't you, Mark?
Probably only one.
Oh, is that all?
Only one.
Just the one.
King Saul. Beat Machino, I know, it's terrific.
One off the text line as they make their way to the boxes at Northam. Think Let's Gallivant has to be considered on its excellent trial behind the mighty Yonga Lass. That's from Ian Butchie O'Connor up there in the at the Mundairy.
Makes a bit of sense, Butch. Makes a bit of sense.
He always does.
Yeah. Okay, we've got 18 minutes till the next at Northam Greys and also at Northam Races. Will be done by then, surely, as we have a look at our final event for Barbaro Butchers. The Barbaro Butchers Quaddie, the Morley Growers Market over the 1400. And number one flower in the win resumes $26. Antique Miss 8 into 6. Planet Cash 17. Without Reg 15. Pedal Power 51 into 23. There's a big long range meerkat. Watch Me Rock. Blinkers go on 290, 275. Heskett 26. Madam Kisses 26. So War 41 to 26. They couldn't resist it, could they? Then we go to Elite One, $9. Chalima, $4 from $4.80. He's Gold, $23. And Ocean Zara is a $51 chance.
Yeah, Mark, that long-range meerkat only found in the depths of the African jungle there. It's a great find on safari.
Yeah.
Highly recommended. Watch Me Rock, 1100 at the 290. Chalima. Oof.
Wow.
Yeah, 500 at the 480, 700 at the 420, 600 at the 390. Pedal Power, is that snipping you speak of, Mart?
Yep.
including 333 places at the $7. I'm sure there's a win component there too somewhere. So, Mitchie.
He couldn't resist it.
Stop it. I reckon it was just a poke. I reckon he's just told someone to back it just to make me clench up a bit in the sphincter region. Anyway.
He's teasing.
Eastern States Pro money.
He's just toying with you now, isn't he, Mitchie?
I'm like Cullinan to his Warren at the moment. He's got me... He's got me dancing up and down the pitch, missing balls left, right and centre. Anyway,
that's not like you either.
Yeah. Anyway, over to you, Ross.
John from Crawley's got one for you, Mart.
Me?
He's watching Northam on 7+ on his laptop and listening on the radio to us as well.
Yes.
He asks, is 7+ on a 20 to 30 second delay because they are fearful of what the boys are going to say? I mean, who are worried about dropping the F-bomb? Riley, Scott or Lockie? Who is the riskiest one?
Actually, no, I think all three are pretty clean skin when it comes to that.
Yeah.
F-bomb. No, it's only
some of the trainers on the other end.
vision and order going up through the satellite. That's what causes the delay.
we got a couple early off Jim Enright the other day. Just straight off the bat. Good afternoon, Jimmy.
Right. What about this Lucky? The Morley growers.
Yeah, look, it's how this race is run is going to dictate, I think, a lot in terms of from a tempo perspective. There's not a lot of speed. He's Gold's your only real speed influence. Heskett has tactical speed from 6. Watch Me Rock should be able to slide across to the breeze from the wide draw. I thought, Brad, is that how you sort of had this race mapped?
Yeah, very similar, mate.
Yeah, so he was luckless last start behind without reg, was held up at a crucial stage. We've seen Count the Sessions a subsequent winner through that race since, unlucky in that similar manner as well. Just a question whether maybe he might already be looking for a bit further, just with the manner he finished off late last start. He was a very good run, don't get me wrong, and the bird had flown by the time he got out, but he just was a little bit grindy late, I thought. I think 275 is probably well enough found, but if the track has shown to be favouring those on speed, with his SP profile, there's every chance he could start even shorter with that pike.
Is that why the blinkers are on?
Potentially.
Sharpen it up a bit.
Yeah, potentially. I just think, the way he finished off was a horse who might have looking for a mile.
Is your throat okay, Mark? Your throat okay? You're clutching at it.
Yeah.
Kalima's on the back up, and rightfully so. May as well have not gone around last weekend, and still Brad in that race where there were numerous unlucky runners, beaten a length and a half, didn't even get off the bridle really in the run to the post. Second up last prep, Marty, this horse, over 1,400 metres, carried 60 kilos, beaten half a length by Brave Spirit in a race that wasn't run to suit. And just only the 5 subsequent winners from that race since as well. So it's proven to be
good form
looks okay. Yeah, and I think Chris Parnham takes over. If he can find her some 3-deep cover blending into it, I think she's got the turn of foot to get over the top of these, and I'd rather back her at the $4 and Watch Me Rock at the $2.75. But in saying that, Brad, she wouldn't want to be dictated to by the tempo and end up miles back at the same time if Watch Me Rock is already in the breeze on top of them coming into the corner. So I think a lot of how this race finishes is going to be on how the race is run.
Yeah, very little opinion, Mart, for me on this race. I might have a look at maybe a Planet Cash as it continues to drift second up. I think there's some improvement there off a nice return. As much as it's hard to see Madam Kisses winning this race, and at the 1,400, the query, it was as unlucky as Elite One and Kalima were.
Yep.
I don't know if it was in the same. It wasn't the same race, but it was just very unlucky too. But probably can't see it.
One up there for you.
Yes.
Number 3.
Yeah, that's inappropriate, Mart. Yeah, it's just one of those races for mine where I'll probably pad up.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I hope I've got something left. I'm just going to have a couple of little maddies in the last. I like Pedal Power's effort over 12, looking for 1,400 last start. I think I got that right, didn't I? Yes, I did.
Yes.
Was working home, and, Richenko or however you want to say it, races well earlier on. That'll give you a little bit more impetus, and I can understand why they've backed it in at the big odds. And I'm with you on Planet Cash. So a couple of roughies there. Just mad for Mart in the last.
Mart's mad.
Mad ones for
there.
Mart. Mad ones for Mars.
Right.
Eh?
Well, let's put them in the.
Well, this could be a new segment.
Let's put them in the book.
Going on there.
Put them in the book. Here we go. You're the man they come to listen to, Riley, because last week the package wasn't too happy with you and me. He's accused us of not doing any form at all. Well, you've set the markets. What do you just do?
That's a
You
fair
blokes have
rev up.
been. You blokes have been.
You must have felt offended by that.
You blokes have been shambles.
I'm pretty easily offended, but to be fair.
I love how. I just love
And
how.
I sat down to do the form. I had all intentions of doing the form. And
Your
then
excuse is terrible.
the fields were this big. I said, I can't do that. I did the 3 main races. I couldn't do any goals.
Well done for you.
I actually
I had
texted
a
him.
go.
I actually texted him and asked him how he went doing the form, and he goes, he said, I opened up the fields and said, "That's too hard," because there's too
I did
many.
the 2-year-old race, the main event, and the last. That was it. So we've got Sydney and Melbourne to do as well.
Yeah.
It was a fair day.
Fair.
I just love how shout out to Elko getting his Barbaro Butcher's quaddie in, but I just love how he greets us on the text line. He starts off with afternoon champions.
Right.
Oh, it's good
But
stuff.
get them in. How they been? Many in for the Burrow Butchers quaddies?
Plenty in. There would be upwards of 30.
Remember, you got to screenshot them at the finish.
Yep.
Make our
We'll
job
go
easy.
through those. Also, Duppy's final selection, Kalima, in the last race on the program
Nice and original. Thanks,
as well.
Doc.
Yeah, well done, Dupp.
Yeah, thanks for looking
best
out
bets,
wide, mate.
Best bets for me on the program, Mart. I like In Good Order as the best bet on the program in race number 2. Grand Reserve each way for the same camp, same colours, race number 3. Miss Flirtatious in race 5. Just holding fire in the features for now, but happy to have some small bets of interest in the Eurythmic, Magnificent Andy, Super Smink, and out wide, something very small on Tricks of the Trade as well.
What have you got?
Gemma's son in the RS
Gemma's,
Crawford.
yeah.
I know this is a bad bet, but I've got a little crush on this horse. I reckon it's going to be okay. Gold Flakes,
Yep.
and I've got a feeling we're going to see something on Saturday.
I like it.
Unfortunately, I just really can't, validate that with any sort of facts. It's just a gut feel. Are we going Planet Cash in the last mart each way?
Just silly.
Yeah. Does look like it could just.
You guys are very silly.
All right. I've just tried to spice it up a bit because I don't know if you noticed opening day at Ascot last week, but not that many favourites won, and all you galoots were tipping favourites. So the first...
I wasn't even here.
I'm not sure I've tipped a favourite in my life. But anyway.
the first... I really like the favourite in the first Storyville. That's something on Merry Man Rough, In Good Order, big fan of it. I'm going with you there. Race 4, Date with the Devil.
Like
With Riley, Regal Statue, but having something on Romming. Baby Paris each way, but massive respect for Brava Centurion. Vast Start each one with you, Big D-Mac, and Pedal Power in the last, and a little bit of Blanket Cash.
A little bit of blanket cash. Is that what you said?
Is that a same?
No.
Planet Cash.
Planet cash.
I liked how you pronounced it.
27 past 5 o'clock. Now, the TAB inside the Winter Sun Hotel Geraldton, you'd know it well, has just had a major upgrade with improved vision and race information. Come down and see Phil and his staff this Saturday with the grand reopening and enjoy a great day of racing. What a day for a reopening. Everest, Caulfield Cup. Does it get any bigger? The King George.
Perfect.
And then you switch on to the Eurythmic. Ascot.
7+ with the boys.
Yeah, there'll be food and prize giveaways during the day. So that is wonderful. Don't forget the 4X Northern Cup, Sunday, 27th of October. We've already given away passes into that all-inclusive 4X marquee. Now, if you're travelling from Perth, Trans WA have a special service running from East Perth, delivering you right to the front gate. So you can have a good old top-up, hop back on the train, and all you got to do is Uber from East Perth.
Bring the esky.
Yep.
Or stay at Mark's Joint.
It's not that far. All available through trybooking.com. So make sure you get into that before 5 p.m. tomorrow. And Barbaro Butchers. As I said, the flag will be flying half-mast out there today and for the rest of the week. But they are a fantastic butcher shop and they'll look after you. Hopefully, somebody will be winning that $100 Barbaro Butchers quaddie voucher.
And just before we go off air, I've actually brought in a little present for both of you. And I did say to the gift giver that I would give these out on air. So, and No competition here for Raff and the Barbaro team. These aren't from a butcher, but one of our loyal listeners from down in Brunswick, Baker from Brunswick, once a year makes his own Italian sausages.
Oh, wow.
And they are absolutely magnificent. It's his favourite hour of the week, tuning in, listening to us. So, on behalf of Baker, live act, some Italian sausage for you, Mart.
They look magnificent.
And some Italian sausage for you, Bradley. Just make sure you slice them up nice and thin.
We'll be doing that. Thank you. Who's that? Baker?
Baker from Brunswick.
Good on you, Baker.